who's praying for us? Men, your heads, your caps must be off, please. Only men. Who's taking the prayer for us? Thank you, thank you. Once again, thank you and good morning. I know it's a Friday. Normally when Friday comes, I don't become happy. Okay, can we continue? If there is comments or questions or clarities required on what I presented, can we do that? If there is those who didn't get answers or they were thinking about some things, because, okay, maybe let me check. How many of you have got small business or your own business? Raise up your hand. Oh, okay. And how many of you intend to have a small business? Okay. How many of you still want to be employed? You don't want business, you don't want anything. Jy soek werk. Oh, okay. Maybe what I can say to you there is that currently at Postbank, we are rebuilding Postbank. There's a lot of jobs opportunities. We are hiring left and right. So the latest position that came out on, when is today, Friday? On Thursday, is admin, project admin, what? In Bloemfontein. So I don't mind sharing that advert with you. So you can also take an opportunity to apply for that. And if you go on our website also, you can also be able to check the available positions. There's a lot, especially those who are in the finance, IT, and risk. There's a lot of positions in there. So you can apply there. Good morning, good morning. Okay, any other question or comment? Any other questions or comments? There's a lot. There's a course in banking. It's offered in universities, colleges, and so on. But once you've got that, you need to do RE5. Once you do RE5, then you are good to go.
So my question is that for upcoming businesses, is there any funding that Postbank does or any sponsorship?
That's a very good question. Normally, when I answer this question, I always say, if you are a small business person, when you start your business, do not start a business with a part of your strategy or part of your mindset thinking you'll get funding. You are going to fall. You are going to fail. Start your small business or your business with a mindset and strategy that funding or no funding, I'm going forward. So currently at Postbank, we don't fund, but there are government entities that are making funding available for small business. There's a department of small business and enterprise, You can go there. You can also go to DTI. They are also funding. There's a lot. But remember, before you fund, you must have all your documentations right. For an example, your tax certificate, your statement, your business profile, all those things need to be up to date. Because no one wants to take money and give it to a person. Do not do what other people are doing. For example, a lot of people like to say, they hear that there's a department that is offering funding. All of a sudden that somebody prepares something and they want that funding. You'll never come right. I'm not saying don't do it. The choice is yours. The purpose is yours. You know what you want. But I will advise you to say, whatever you do, whatever you want to do, let it be done without thinking about anybody assisting you financially, so that your business can prosper on its own. Did I answer you? Any other question? Those who are still busy with certificates, how far are you? You still busy? Okay. Any other question or comment?
But let's see what banka is doing, because maybe unkile uzi shelter oversee half or boy kita na usan na ufita hayo. Here's why king too.
Okay, that's also a very good question. Utabawi hutika mme, we hula guy when a child. Kai. ATM or kahari or kai. ATM, okay. Nekibata unkarabor ATM. Let me check. How many of you know how to use an ATM? Raise up your hand. Don't be shy. If you don't know, you don't know. If you know, you know. Raise up your hand. If you know. Okay. Those who don't know how to use an ATM, raise up your hand. Oh, you don't know, ma'am? Oh, thank you. I want to bet you. Let me see how much I've got here. You are not going to participate. Any person who gives me the correct process, procedurally, logically, without jumping any step, how to use an ATM. So simple. Sharon, you know the first steps. You keep the money. Yeah, you're not participating. I need 4 people to answer. Let me give you the rules. The minute you start and you are saying something that is not logic to what I'm asking, I stop you. I need 4 hands. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Let's hear. Can we all listen, please, so that you don't repeat what she's saying? Huh? Replace her. Replace her.
Okay, when you go to an ATM, must make sure you are having the correct card.
First you insert your card.
First you go to an ATM and then maybe you're going to use
For me, first you go to the ATM, you insert, it asks you questions.
Insert the card, select the.
You are the last.
First, you press cancel.
Can I have my money? Thank you. Now if you answer, there's no money. Okay, can we please listen very careful? I know that all of you, it's not that you don't know how to use it, but when we take it step by step, logically, procedurally, what you are saying is completely wrong. When you use an ATM, there are certain things that you must do before even if you arrive at the ATM. Why? Because there's a lot of you, while you know how to use an ATM, but you are still robbed at the ATM. Am I correct? So that means you are not following step by step on how to use the ATM. There is security measures that you must take before you get to the ATM. Irrespective of there was a queue or not, you must be very, very careful. Number one, when you go to the, let's assume there's no queue, there's nobody at the ATM. You already know that you are going to the ATM. You should be having a card, or you should be having a message on the phone that you are going to withdraw. You don't need to tell me that. The first thing that you do is to look at the ATM, look around if there is no one who is security measure. Look around if there is no one that you suspect that can rob you. Get to the ATM. Also, still look around, look at your bag. Do not accept any assistance. Before you even put in your card, whatever, test the ATM card, because there is certain people who fishes your card. I want to answer your question. Is it you who's busy or is it her? You are not helping her, you are doing it for her. Yeah, you having the mouse. You having the mouse. She will never know. That's true. So, when you get to the ATM, let me tell you what normally happens with these scammers. They put a pin pad. You know what is a pin pad? On top of the ATM pin pad. And it's electronic. It's the same as that particular ATM. When you put in your card, they put a card reader also on top of that card reader. So, the minute you put in the card, I'm just giving you an example. The minute you put in a card, their card reader read information on your card. As you press your PIN number, their PIN pad connects to their card reader with Bluetooth to make a full package of the card content. Then you will withdraw the money and maybe leave, and you still have a balance. Now, immediately after a few minutes, those people come and take that. They send their information wherever. They reproduce the card that is similar to yours. They go and withdraw. You are in Bloemfontein, but there are transactions in Cape Town, and you have never been to Cape Town. There's transactions in Durban. You have never been to Durban. They call it phishing. She's not even listening. Did you hear that? So, never ever underestimate certain things. It is important that when you get to the ATM, don't be ashamed. Touch that slot where you put in the card. Make as if you're taking it out. The pin pad, touch it and feel there's no another one on top. Very, very important. So I answered you. You have a question? Don't get back to the question, because I said how to use an ATM step by step, logically, without jumping any step. It's part of the step by step. Step number one on how to use an ATM is security, to look aside. That's how to use an ATM. It's part of how to use that ATM. starting to doubt your sushi now. Okay, let me ask you, how to prepare a sushi?
Listen.
How to prepare a sushi?
First you wash your hands.
Correct.
Then you prepare everything. We call it a prep.
Don't say prepare, tell us what you prepare.
You prep, then you get
What is to prep?
is to make things available for in front of you, not to run on your table. And then you got this.
You jump the very critical step. You must clean your table. Hey, clean the surface of your table where you are going to prepare your sushi. You started correctly by washing your hands, clean the surface. You're talking to the converted. No. Sushi, doctor, can you listen? I was a senior lecturer at Mafikeng International Hotel School. I used to teach people how to cook. I'm also a chef. It's fine. So it means you prepare the sushi without cleaning the table. Any other question? He's trying to be technical. Can we get progress on those who are busy? Is it yours? How many are still busy? Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4. Who is busy here? Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Can we please give Sis Tandy an opportunity to officially open for us and to welcome our visitors? Remember, me and others, we know more visitors, ne? Yeah. Madam Tandy, the floor is yours. Is it this one?
Good morning. Good morning. Are you good? You have started the good practice. They always say that you must copy what is good. So the 2 days. First day we didn't do, second day we did, and yesterday. So I will request a song and someone that is going to pray. You have done that?
Yes.
Okay. So you also pray for me?
Yes.
Because I was dizzy today. So at least I'm going to feel better. Okay. If you have done that, colleagues, let me check with you how many have certificates in hand. Can I see the hands of those with the certificates?
Those who have certificates.
The one who are done, don't be shy. It is what you have contributed. It is your benefit. So the hand that always goes like this is the one that is not sure.
Yeah, you see.
So you must raise your hand. Okay. So if I were wait. I want to say you count. I want them to count themselves. That is fine.
Certified. Internet was not up. Okay, 36. And this one? 37. How many certificates do you have there? Oh.
Did you all send a certificate to Amos and
How much? 36. Yeah. So, Amos has got 36 certificates. So let me see, how many are still busy? I should get 6 people. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Correct. No, it's tallies. There's still 6 busy, and the total number of the people here, they are 42. So it tallies. 6 are still busy. We have 36 certificates already with hours.
Oh, okay. No, thank you. But I think those that are 6, they must make it a point that they finish because certificates must be printed. If you don't do it in time, then your certificate is not going to be printed and you're not going to get it. And when the social development here comes, they will be giving it the certificate. It's unfortunate that we're not going to have a MEC. I was told yesterday, the day before yesterday, that the MEC is committed. They also have a meeting right now as we speak, so they won't be here, but the chief director of that unit will be the one that is going to come and give you certificates. It is one of the contributions that they are doing in this program. So you must not take lightly. If you have issues with the social development here, it's also your opportunity to talk to them because they will be here. We also have a national department, a DSD nationally, but Hobby knows the person. I'll quickly call her to come and tell what is she going to do. So I'm told that Booty is online. I'm thinking that Booty can come in and present. Then we will have at 11 o'clock presentation from the department by Domi. Is that fine?
Yes.
Okay. Can you tell him to be ready? Anissa? He's ready. Okay. Yeah, no, please, Puti, please present. Because 11 o'clock we'll have someone from the department to present. Then I'll give a mic to Hobby and Ray to see how are they going to do that. Right. Hobby, you want to introduce the person or she'll do it after? Okay, Patience. Okay. The mic is over to you, Ray.
You said there is a presentation that is coming. Is the person ready for immediate to come in?
Are you ready?
So that we straightforward take that presentation from DSD. DSD is the Department of Social Development. And I remember when we were busy, DSD is the Petronella spoke about entities that reports to the Department of Communication and Digital Technology. While they are still setting up, are you ready? Hello?
I think Budi, you can say something? Oh, okay, no, thanks. I'm not sure. I was trying to share my presentation. So, okay. Is it appearing on the screen?
Yes. It's appearing, Buti.
All right.
Are you ready to start, Buti?
Yeah, yes, I think I am.
Okay. Maybe let's go straight to Buti to continue. We'll deal with the rest later. Buti, the floor is yours. Thank you.
All right. Thanks very much, Mr. Mudi. Yeah, well, I was listening, and even though I've been through these sessions, several times, but yeah, I know that the ATM, is not really a very, very friendly a type of, machine. Once you are faced with it, it depends how much you have in your account. Because then if you are not sure that you do have money, the heart tends to really beat very, very fast. And, it's like because you are anticipating disappointment. Yeah, so it's like, it's not really easy for one to focus and say, yeah, I want to understand, exactly how the ATM works. But, well, as they say, practice does make perfect. So the more you withdraw and use the ATM, the more you learn how, it works. Yeah, no, thanks for this opportunity. I'm sure everyone has met my colleague, the Patience Ndimande. Ms. Ndimande is responsible for, awareness creation activities in our unit, victim empowerment and prevention of gender-based violence. And awareness activities also include the 25th of each month, which is the Orange Day, and I'm sure she must have spoken, or she's still going to talk about Orange Day. Yeah, well, as I was introduced, I'm sure the past few days, the name Butikulwane was being mentioned many a times. I happen to be that person, and I'm really happy to be here. In fact, I wish, it's always been my wish to be in that setup, that is, in the hall with you. I've been to other provinces, but unfortunately, I wasn't able to attend this one. But well, thanks to technology's improvement, here we are. I'm able to talk to all of you. The colleagues, we know each other very, very well. Yeah, gender-based violence. How will we gender-based violence as the department? So as I mentioned already, our unit is victim empowerment and prevention of gender-based violence. So I think this presentation is going to sort of clarify, that is, explain everything that we do as the Department of Social Development in the fight against gender-based violence and empowerment of victims of crime. So then, what is it that we are really focused on? And the slide says, well, it says the cycle of abuse. Yes, abuse itself, it sort of, it comes in a cyclical way. That is, what really happens in a relationship between two people, where one is a victim and the other one happens to be a perpetrator or the abuser. So it doesn't just, a person doesn't just decide, this time I'm keeping you. Why? Because in most cases here, we're talking, we are looking at people that, have committed to being with each other. when they met, the first thing they spoke about was, I really love you and I want to spend, my whole life with you. And if people met up and fell in love, now the question is, why does it end up being abusive and violent and hurting? And it is because of this cycle that you asked. Maybe let us start off from what we refer to as what is seen here, the blue one, which says honeymoon. Well, honeymoon, maybe you could say people are excited, hulerato, monate, batabile. They really love to be with each other. Yeah, that is the honeymoon phase. It's like it reminds them of the time, when they met. They always remember how nice it was, how they enjoyed each other's company. Yeah, but what happens is, from honeymoon, somehow, I think the energies tend to go down. And with the energies going down, it's like people start seeing, the negative things in each other. And that is the period where we say it is now building up, the pink one, the pink block which says build up. They sort of see mistakes, and then somehow they do talk negative towards each other, and then meaning they don't even talk to each other, it's like excessive. And I think each one of them is asking themselves, what happened? Because we've always been saying to each other that we love each other, but somehow we don't seem to be feeling that way now. That is the build up. And then build up in most cases may have seemed to be, silent ways, interacting negatively, but not really voicing out hakan. But there comes a next stage, which is stand up, start standing up, and they scream, as you can see the picture in there, scream at each other. Hey, why not this? Why see, all those things. Yeah, I very standing up to each other, shouting. Even neighbors can hear. I should be come on. So willing Rado standing up, the next step you can see would be explosion, where one starts raising the hand and beating the other, and fighting back, and injuries and all those things. But I mean, after that explosion, surely in most cases the police are called, and when the police are called, you find, well, the injured one would be taken maybe for treatment, clinic, hospital, and what we normally do, I'm sure some of you have experienced it, where you are from there because you are so afraid, you don't want to go back, and hence many are now accommodated in our shelters for victims of gender-based violence. But then, because then being away from each other, the perpetrator, you can see now the green one says remorse. So it means the person becomes remorseful. Why did I do it? And I can't live without, my partner. And, they really feel guilty for what they have done, as you can see. And well, we don't want people to know where our shelters are situated. And I think you know that. Why? Because just for security reasons, if this person can go to the shelter and start attacking anyone, it will really put people at risk. So he doesn't know where she is. Or sometimes she went back to her own parents, her own family, and the family says, hey, we will never ever let you in our house. Tell this one, the abuser, hey, we don't want to see you. But then the next step would be pursue. As you can see, this person is now pursuing, their lover. They can even kneel down, pray and promise heaven and earth. I would never ever do it. They even buy whatever they think they really impress, their person. And yeah, Then she comes back and you find when it becomes honeymoon and you hear stories that she says, it's because unanwile and man ha tawe man unanwile and to sing right. But Yena is not a bad person. It's like Hale sober, Hale right, Hana Matata. It's only when he takes one or two. Or Hata Samali Mamman, man, why it's correct. Moya, such things. And right. And Gamorata, hey, yeah, that is back to the honeymoon stage. And the whatever injuries and everything is forgotten because she's pursuing, but then the next would be build up again, then stand up, as now you can see it's a cyclical process. But I mean, the concern is that, you can't live this way. Surely there should be a way where you break this cycle of abuse, where, you are able to handle, to deal with your emotions. When the build-up starts, you are able to confront, with respect, both of you, and look at where the problems are. That's what is expected from a relationship. Angirati and it doesn't mean when we are together, it will always be a bed of roses. But the most important thing, are you able to handle, the challenge? And whatever problems, are you able to sit down, as a couple and resolve it, without, standing up and really exploding and beating each other. So this is we really have to break this cycle of violence. And the other concern is that if children grow up in this kind of an environment where there's this cycle of violence, unfortunately what it does, it teaches them, well, this is the normal way of living. And maybe that is why we heard of a 13-year-old somewhere in Ekurule who took the father's firearm, went to the school and shot the principal. So this is the child who has learned violence, is the best way to resolve problems. And having learned from home, we always hear the stories that no, the school system doesn't have a problem, and children come with this violence from their home. Indeed, the violence that they learn from home, they take it out. So you break this violence. It's not only for yourselves as a couple, it's also for the children that are growing up under you. I think it's a sense, and maybe some of you feel, hey, this really speaks to me. But then what we did is the next. It doesn't just happen. It doesn't just happen. It's just that there's an echo, But anyway, this thing doesn't just happen, You have to look at, what really happens to a person to become violent. We always hear stories, but hey, these people, these killers that are in jail, normally, for motho hore a tsehe o mong a mo khate so a mmolaye ha bohloko so ha bo hodileng, but ke motho o jwang, ke phoofo, ke motho ntho ena kapa ke phoofolo. Such things have been asked, such questions. But the truth is, I think we are all capable of doing these things. It's just that there are those who are able to handle the emotions. They are able to regulate their emotions, whilst others are not. And surely you can teach yourself to regulate your emotions, or you can learn to regulate your emotions. And when you find yourself in very, very difficult situations, you are able to be calm and sort of handle them. Challenges, as I said, will always be there in life, not only within your family, even outside of your family. There is sometimes where you find yourself in a very conflict situation. How do you handle this conflict to ensure, to avoid, violence? The thing is, we looked at what is referred to as the stress response system. And then, stress response system, we sometimes hear of trauma, hey, why is it stress? Hey, why is it profanity trauma? I'm traumatized and all those things. Yes, I think our view is that both stress and trauma, the body and the brain, they react the same way. They cannot just differentiate or not. What you are facing is stress or what you are facing is trauma. So it's like anything that is negative that happens in your life. Even when a person tells you something negative, your brain would obviously tell the message, to the entire body. That would really make you feel at peace. And if you find yourselves in a situation where you witness a person being killed, obviously that would be traumatic. Or you yourself, are attacked, a violent, that would obviously be traumatic. The brain and body would react the same way. What happens is there's a thing, the process is referred to as hypothalamus pituitary adrenal axis. That is from your brain, that is the message, maybe let me start off by saying this. There's what is referred to as the amygdala in your brain. This amygdala, an alarm. It's like if you have an alarm system in your house, that is, if someone breaks in, would obviously it creates that sound, and that is alert people. So the alarm is the amygdala is something like that. It's sort of always looking for anything that is threatening you. Let's say, like for instance, you are walking on the pavement. You are walking on the pavement, and a car just passes just next to you, comes from behind, car speed. What's going to happen is you heard the car, maybe that is coming at a high speed. You didn't see it, but you find yourself jumping, away so as to avoid it, to avoid being hit by this car. And that's what happened. The amygdala is always watching. That if there's anything, even like someone is trying to call me, I'll have to switch it off. Somehow unconsciously, your amygdala is like searching for any threats. You are feeling safe, but it's searching for any threat. So what happens is the moment it sees there's a threat here can just be stress. And remember, stress is not to say it into a serious, even the pressure. I mean, it's like when you are told you are coming to this course, you are going to get a certificate. Some of you may have thought, what if I fail, and all those things. Those things can also, those thoughts can also cause you stress. But as I said, the brain and the body will not differentiate, or this is stressful or this is traumatic. But the amygdala, the message will be sent. It's hypothalamus pituitary adrenal process. The message will be sent from the brain down your spinal column to the adrenal glands that are sitting on top of your kidneys. Only the adrenal glands on top of your kidneys. And when this message reaches the adrenal glands, what happens is there are stress hormones that are being secreted. Your body releases stress hormones. One of them is called cortisol, and the other one is called adrenaline. And what cortisol does, it numbs your body from feeling pain. It's a body how it's feel pain, so it prepares your body to be able to withstand or fight whatever threat that is facing you. And then if it is a threat that it requires for you to run away, indeed, your adrenaline will be pumped into the other stress hormone, adrenaline, will be pumped into your muscles for you to be able to run away. Or maybe to your muscles to enable you to fight. And this is referred to as the fight, flight, or freeze response. You'll be able to fight if you can. But if it's a lion that is facing you, I think you'll run faster than you've ever run before. Why? Because your muscles are fueled with adrenaline. So this thing, like I'm giving these kinds of examples, but if you think back to the cycle of abuse itself, what happens is these things do happen. Because I mean, it's like that period, when there is tension, and then before it even explodes, all those things. I mean, this is how the body, the brain and the body view the situation, and this is how they would react to the situation. So the most important thing here is if you understand yourself as a person, you should be able to regulate your emotions. I always tell people that once you feel you are not in control of a situation, the best for you is to, if you can walk out of that situation, and the stress, the working, this thing of inhaling, to calm down. You inhale, you keep your breath for, you count maybe a few minutes, and then you breathe out slowly in, hold your breath, and then slowly breathe out. That is a relaxation technique. That can help, because then what happens is when the amygdala takes control, the part of the brain that is able to think, to think better, it sort of stops working. But when you relax, when you are relaxed, it takes over, and it's able to think of the better way to handle the situation. So rather use those kinds of techniques. Walk out of the situation, and then when the two of you have now calmed down and you are able to think better, you then can come back together and look at the problem and see where you went wrong, and try to solve it. So as to improve, your relationship. But what happens is people don't really try to regulate their emotions. What they tend to do is they just, within that situation, failing to think properly, they take action, they fight, and hence, we are seeing violence time and again. But I always, like with ladies, like for instance, if your husband in such situation walks out, don't run after him and say, yeah, he just walks away. So that won't help the situation. If he walks away, also when I just hold back and focus on yourself, focus on your own emotions. In that way, the two of you, I think, will be able to think better, because then the thinking brain, your rational brain takes over, and once it takes over, you are able to think better. I sometimes give an example. People that are in jail, you will find that most of the people that are arrested and locked up for, heinous crimes happen to be young people. Why? Because they haven't really mastered, this approach. They haven't really mastered, the regulation of their emotions, and they tend to take, and then hence they find themselves committing serious crimes. And you'll find around you see, it's like those things. But if a person really gives trains think better, to think rational, they are able to think about the consequences of their behavior. And obviously, if you injure someone, if you fight and hurt someone, the consequences are that you end up in jail. I'm sure they understand what I'm trying to say. That is, I'm trying to say, let us try to maybe handle our own emotions. And the truth is that what you are seeing on the screen surely is what happens in your body. This is the stress response. Also in response to traumatic experiences, these are the things that happen. Make sure when the adrenaline pumps, you are able to handle. Yes, cortisol will numb your body from feeling any pain and being able to fight, but rather not really give them, that leeway. Make sure you take over, you think properly, and you deal with whatever emotions. I'm sure that makes sense. But then, having said this, I'm now coming to how the implementation of the National Strategic Plan. I'm sure in the presentation, Ms. Linders, she did share about the communications department role in the implementation of the National Strategic Plan on Gender-Based Violence and Femicide at the period 2020 to 2030. So I would say almost all departments have a role to play in the fight against gender-based violence. We really have to bring it down. We have to stop femicide, the killing, of women. These things should really come to an end. I sometimes say to people, now we are in 2024. That means we are only left with 6 years, before 2030, for us to really see peace in our communities, see peace in our streets, in our families, in our schools. But what we are seeing in the media with children shooting principals, this really shows that we still have a long way to go. And I'm not sure if it will be possible that by 2030, really see living a different and peaceful South Africa. But it's up to us and yourselves as mothers who have sons, who have daughters. I'm sure if you really manage to handle yourself and sort of teaching your children to also handle themselves, and surely I think we would really see positive results in 2030. So then, as a department, let me say the National Strategic Plan on Gender-Based Violence and Femicide, I'm sure she did mention, but it has 6 pillars, of which I know that on pillar 5, economic power, the group one that you are seeing there, they are involved in it. That is the Department of Communication, and hence you are sitting in this class, to gain skills that can enable you to really stand for yourself, and sort of make a living for yourself. But ourselves as the Department of Social Development, I'm sure you are seeing the green one, which is pillar 4, which says response, care, support, and healing. That is the one that we are leading as a department. Hence, Renali, the shelters for victims of gender-based violence. We respond in situations of gender-based violence, and then we have to provide care to victims and also support them. And hopefully, this will lead to healing. And healing, I always refer to the emotional healing, which means if you are able to handle your emotions and, in difficult situations, I think that says you have really healed emotionally, and you would really live a better life. Instead, be able to handle your stress, So then that's what we are doing. And then, as you can see, the green one, it says we provide victim centers, survivor-focused, accessible, quality services. But in addition to that, you can see pillar 2 speaks prevention and rebuilding of social cohesion. Prevention is to prevent gender-based violence from happening. And then if there's gender-based violence, it's prevented, we are hopeful that we would really rebuild social cohesion. See people living peaceful and in a very socially cohesive environment. So we are also involved in pillar 2. In fact, in November, we were in Tabantu. We were in Tabantu where Kosi Khabo was being inaugurated as the She Decides, the UN She Decides program. She's the patron of the UN She Decides. And in preparation for the inauguration, which was on the 8th of November, we had, dialogues with men in the area, men coming from, Kabantu and the surrounding villages. We had dialogues just because then with prevention, surely, because men happen to be the main perpetrators for gender-based violence, if there's a way that we are able to reach out to them, and educate them, help, educate them on handling their own emotions, it would help. That can also bring down, the level of violence in their families. But we cannot just say we target men because they are the perpetrators. I'm sure you feel for it. It's like it's always the two that it's like one can start, but I mean, it's like what happens in a situation of gender-based violence. Both parties should be able to handle, those challenges, especially in the domestic environment. Or those are the other pillars. So we as DSD, we are dealing mainly with both Pillar 2 and Pillar 4. Yes, we do, like with research Pillar 6, there has been, in fact, we've just completed a research project, for men, looking back at how the whole men's movement evolved. In fact, talking about men's movement, the research that we conducted, led us to what you are seeing here. This is referred to Takuwani Reime. There's a it's the movement. As you can say, it says institutionalizing a responsive men's movement. And in fact, when we were doing the dialogues, it was in December, yes. When we were doing the dialogues in December in Kabanju, we were also sort of channeling them into this program, Takuwani Reime. Takuwani Reime is a vendor expression that let us stand up together. Takuwani Reime, Kasivenda is Takuwani Reime, means let us stand together. So what is happening is that men want to really stand up together in the fight against gender-based violence. Men want to really make their contribution to bring down, the level of gender-based violence and femicide. Yeah, currently they are finalizing their men's charter, and as you can see, their motto is men championing change. They want to see a change in all men in this country, and they want to champion it. They want to lead by example. So it is important that men clearly understand, how it is that, how they can, handle their emotions and be able to interact and relate much better with their spouses at home. So that is one of the programs. We have what we call men. We call it, but it's like men. As I say, men championing change. But within the department, we have men as positive role models. We call it men as positive role models because every man can be a positive role model if they are sort of leading a better life and they are able to relate better, with the people, the opposite sex. And then they are sort of maybe as fathers, they are doing their best to make sure, that their children grow up, as good citizens of South Africa. So these are the, some the programs that we are doing, and also this men's movement is doing. And in addition to the men's program, we also have what we call the Everyday Heroes brand. We do promote this Everyday Heroes brand, 6 booklets, that speak to the heroes in our communities. There are ordinary people that that are their heroes. They really do stand up to bring change in our communities. But in most cases, we tend to overlook them because you'd find that maybe these are not celebrities, and no one really sees them as, tatenyana ola wako kone, ole kang hukopanya bana, baba padise bolo, aba, aba rute pila value. Yeah, we tend to really overlook. We don't see such people as really contributing. Hence, we make sure that we promote them through this Everyday Heroes program so that people can really see that you don't have to be a celebrity, they contribute to change it in your community. So not only them, there are women, we have like your nurses, police officers, so those that are really things. So these are booklets, and we promote them, we distribute these booklets for members of the community to read and understand. And it's like we see it, like with children, these are very, very effective. Children tend to like, the stories that they read in these booklets. And the other one, which is also what our patients came up with, I think when she came down there, it's every day, it's Orange Day. The 25th of every month is referred to as Orange Day. As you can see, it says wear orange to take a stand on any violence against women and girls. This is a United Nations campaign that you wear orange on the 25th of, to remind yourself, to remind others that surely we are in the struggle, bring down, the levels of gender-based violence in our communities. And so today being the 23rd, it means Orange Day would be on Sunday, the 25th. I mean, I do see, even at church, some people on a 25th, they make sure that they wear their orange. So, and this demand the patience is there also promote. The other program that we have, we are fighting human trafficking, or what is referred to as trafficking in persons. And we are implementing the prevention and combating of trafficking in persons Act and the National Policy Framework on Trafficking in Persons. What is happening here is ourselves, we do have a role. Obviously, our role is to provide care and support to victims of human trafficking. So when you hear stories of, trafficked people found at such and such a place, they were taken to such and such a place, those happen to be our shelters where we keep them and we make sure we provide support. When it comes to trafficking, can be trafficking, sexual exploitation, that is young girls being taken to and used in the sex industry where they work, for this person. So human trafficking is also referred to as modern day slavery. So as you can see, this person says, I'm not for sale. You cannot sell me, make money out of me. But then what is happening is we provide care, we empower them to make sure that when they are okay, going back into the society, they are reintegrated. When we also support them in the process, remember with trafficking in persons or human trafficking, there is someone that has committed the crime that happens to be the trafficker. In most cases, these people are taken through the criminal justice process that is prosecuted and sentenced. So we are sort of looking into ensuring that this victim is able to assist the criminal justice process so that the person who trafficked him or her can be locked up, for as long as, the courts sees it necessary. But trafficking is not only for sexual exploitation. We are seeing, people being trafficked for labor exploitation. A person being really used as a slave, working for another person, and being treated badly. So those things, as a department, this is where we are also involved. The next one is the gay, the LGBTIQ plus community. People in the LGBTI community, treated badly. We've heard of stories of the so-called corrective rape, people really raping, lesbian girls and women, and they say they are correcting them. But I mean, if a person is a member of this community, and no one really just decides that, no, I am now a lesbian or gay, it's like that's how they feel, in their bodies. They feel, this is how I feel, as a man. I'm a man, I'm attracted to other men. As a woman, I'm attracted to women. And so everyone has to live the life, that they wish for. And so no one has the right to say, who else does not really deserve to live or whatever. So hence, we are also in our victim empowerment program, and we make sure that, our services do cater for the needs of members of LGBTIQ community. Even our shelters, we make sure that they are sort of they are adapted, whatever. I'm not sure which word to use. Make sure that they are LGBTIQ friendly. And then again, we also have what we call the Gender-Based Violence Command Center. I'm not sure how many of you, if I was there, I was going to ask them, who knows this number, 0800 428 428. But I'm sure patients may have spoken about it. But here we have social workers that work 24/7. That means all the 365 days of the year, there's always someone sitting in the gender-based violence command center waiting for calls from people from all over the country. I would advise that if it is possible, maybe one of you should call this number 0800 428 428. What would happen is the person who picks up on the other side is a social worker, and their role is to make sure that they do counseling over the phone, and then and assist with identifying, the services to gender-based violence that are closest to yourself. They know all these shelters all over the country, Mpumalanga, Western Cape, Northern Cape, Bloemfontein, Free State, everywhere else. So it's like if you call and you need, placement, they would do counseling first, and then after counseling, they would make arrangements that you are picked up. In fact, the service itself, they are able to connect you to your local police station so that they can send maybe a van, SAPS van to collect you from wherever you are. So then this is a very, very important service. I think the advice I would give you is that maybe just save this number in your phones, 0800 428 428. That is, and also share it with others that, if you need counseling on gender-based violence issues, just call this number. So then you'll talk to a social worker any time of the day, even at 12 midnight. You can call. Someone will answer, and they speak the different language. There's always, in a shift, there's always someone who speaks more than one language, and they will be able to speak to you in your own language. Yeah, and the other projects that we have, we remember I mentioned men as positive role models. We do hold these dialogues of men as positive role models. 16 days of activism, I'm sure you know, between the 25th of November and the 10th of December, it's 16 days of activism. We make sure that we go out, ourselves, from national and even provinces, to promote, our program. There's also what we call the National Emergency Response Team. If there's a case like trauma somewhere, we are sometimes able to send out, a team of the National Emergency Response Team to do, trauma debriefing, to the people. And then, patients is also involved in the next one, which is gender-based violence awareness creations, institutions of higher learning. I'm sure you've heard, it's like stories in your university where some, students tend to attack others, and gender-based violence and all those things. So then they do go to the institutions. I think they've been to your campuses, Bloemfontein, also explain on gender-based violence and what they are supposed to do to ensure they are safe. And we also have shelters, shelter services for victims of gender-based violence. We have what we call Kuseleka one-stop centers, KSCs. These are a comprehensive service. We have what we call wide doors, for a shorter period where a person can stay for a maximum of 72 hours. And we also have shelters where you can stay for a lengthier period. That is when you are facing a problem of gender-based violence in your family, and you are not safe at all. You can go to these centers. So these are either run by the state, or they can also be opened by private, or they can be private sector run. We had what we call a interfaith. As you can see, with the interfaith, we are talking about involving your churches in the fight against gender-based violence, because then even I do go to church, but going to church, that doesn't really mean I'm not abusive. I may be abusive at home. When I go to church, I sing and pray, and people think that, this is the best man you can ever find. But the reality is, if I'm an abuser, and really I need to be held to check. So then, hence the interfaith will be able to access men through, everyone through their churches. And we also do funding of national and provincial non-government organizations, that is NGOs that are in the fight against gender-based violence. They can either apply for funding at a provincial level. In your case, it would be the province of the Free State, Department of Social Development. But if the services, the organization runs their programs in, I think, about 4 or more provinces, then they can apply for funding from the national, which is where I'm sitting, National Department of Social Development, because we consider them as a national organization. Yeah, I think this is the last. Thank you very much, and I will take questions here. And I'm not sure if Ms. Demande has something to also add, or has she has spoken. Yeah, but I'll just listen to either herself or your questions. Thank you very much, colleagues, and yeah. Okay, I think I'll have to pause here. Thanks.
Thank you. Let's give him a, what do you call it, handshake or what? Let's give him a Sharon's whatever. Digital clap.
And 3, 2, 1. He's the champion.
Thank you very much, Mebara. I know that me and him, we know each other from very long time ago. But before anything, because when we're taking questions and we're engaging, maybe it will be in the best interest that we allow patients to introduce herself, or Kobe, is there anything? And then so that when we start engaging, you already know who is patient and wara. Patience, over to you. Please, don't go away online. Thank you. Patience, please introduce yourself. You're welcome to go through so that they can see you in front, please.
All right. Good morning, everyone. My name is Patience Ndimande, and I am coming from social development at the nation.
Okay, come this side. It's just an echo with the speaker. You can stand here. It's fine here. Yeah, sure.
All right, yes, I'm coming from National Office, Pretoria, and I am a social worker under the unit VEP and gender-based violence. All right, I think everything has been said by Mr. Kulane in the presentation. For me, it's just to give a brief highlight on the Orange Day campaign that I'm running with at the Department of Social Development. Okay, I will talk about the vision of the campaign. Its vision is to promote or achieve the world free from violence. That's the vision of the campaign. And that we know that it's a fact that women and children are the most vulnerable group that are experiencing gender-based violence. And that violence is ranging from domestic violence, and it can be rape cases, and there's a lot more that women are experiencing. And not also forgetting that men also can be victims of gender-based violence. Okay, let me explain where this campaign is originated. So the campaign was established in 2008 by the national units. And it's called, it's a global campaign that is called Unite to End Violence Against Women. So the focus is on prevention and elimination of gender-based violence across the world. So now the campaign proclaims the 25th of every month. One can show support on wearing anything that is orange on the 25th of every month. You can wear your scarf, the orange scarf, you can wear your orange cap, the orange t-shirts, anything that is orange that should show support on the campaign. on the orange day. So I think one can ask him or herself why the color orange or not green or purple. So basically the color orange represents change and transformation. That's why we have chosen the color orange. So we know that we can't fight GBV as individuals. It needs us all to be like working together in order to fight the scourge of GBV. Or one organization cannot do it alone, but it needs all of us to be involved in fighting GBV. So I'm here to urge everyone just to show a small act, you know, on wearing something orange on the 25th of every month. So with me, I have t-shirts that I will give to everyone. I think by looking at the numbers, everyone will get a t-shirt, an orange t-shirt, and urging everyone to wear the t-shirt or anything that you have that is orange on the 25th of each and every month. Thank you so much.
In 3, 2, 1.
Thank you very much, Patience. Keep the mic. I want to, together with Mr. Day, to respond to questions and welcome. You know, you guys are very, very lucky. This is the first team that is receiving t-shirts from DSD. So I'm telling you the truth. We've been doing this project 2 years now, 3, 4 years. So thank you, DSD. Thank you. Thank you. So I want to see if you guys were listening. I want to see, each and every one of you must have a question. If you don't have a question, you must have a comment to say, this is what you have learned. Because let me tell you something, and I've realized that there's a lot of us here. Menier is presenting that we are busy with our phones and whatever, but this program is here for you guys. So can we stop being busy with other things when somebody's presenting? Please. We can't always come and say, stop this, stop this, stop this. So let's hear. Let's start with those who have questions so that DSD can be able to respond. And if you don't have questions, I will go to each and every one of you to make a comment of what you have learned on the presentation. Are we together, Menier, there, online? Yes, comment, talk to me.
Oh, yes, we are. I had muted. I'm still around, I'm listening.
Thank you, Booty. Please make sure that you listen. I'll be closer to take the questions, and yourself and Patience will help us. Are you the first?
Yes, I think so. I don't know, is it a comment or a question per se, but thank you, sir, for your presentation. I think it was straightforward and everything was there that we needed to know. So fortunately, I've also been working in the GBV space. One of my colleagues mentioned, Hetang, that we've been doing the pillars. So my take on it, I don't know, is it the social workers, but with our cases that we had, we'll get cases from the community when we do our door-to-door or our awareness, and then we refer them to the social worker. But then, you know how people are. They will hammer you, and then that time you'll find out it's serious cases. Ne? So I don't know, is it a short of social workers at Department of Social Work Development, or I don't know. But we have a big problem with people getting back to people's cases in our instance, because now it comes back to us that, so it doesn't matter, even if you go and get cases, refer them to the social worker, then there is no response. My colleagues will agree with me on this one, because we had cases in schools, we had cases in communities. Unfortunately, our social worker were there, but she was so swamped with other cases. So what's happening to the cases that's been referred? Because now we are the people are on the ground and people are coming back to us regarding the cases. So is there a direct number that besides the one that you, because we also have pamphlets that with the number, the exact pamphlet that you showed, we do have it and we do distribute it. But then you will find out the community that we went, unfortunately, they don't even have mobile phones or stuff to make use and to call. So I just want maybe an action, especially now that going back to the community and having to do those, like your Orange Day, we've done it, especially in your schools, when we have events, we've done it. So it's more based on the cases. That's really a problem with us. Thank you.
Buti, in brief, if they are not getting assistance at the local social workers, what must they do? That's in brief. Buti, do you want to respond or must I give it to patients? Buti?
Maybe let me start off. I take it, where I'm sitting at National, the number that I've shared, 800-428-428, can also be useful. Why? Because in situations where the case was not attended at local level,
Buti, sorry, Buti. Can you please repeat? Can you please repeat the number? Can you please jot it down? Repeat the number, Buti.
Yeah, it's a toll-free number, 0800. That is 0800 428 428.
Thank you.
Yes, yeah, because then calling this number, and then that would mean you are even escalating the case, which means would then be able to involve our colleagues in the province, that is the colleagues in Bloemfontein, to ensure that it's followed up. So it's like at local level, at your level, where there are social workers. Yes, the problem of limitation, and I'm sure you've heard. I take it that even the president in his speech, that is the State of the Nation address. There's a very, very, very high shortage of social workers, and the department is trying, hard to ensure that the numbers exist of social workers are increased. Yes, you'll find in most areas the limitation, that is a shortage of social workers. But the other thing is for those that are in Botshabelo, there's an organization called Setabelo in Botshabelo. It's like it's not only DSD social workers. We do have like social workers in the NGOs, including Setabelo. The main thing is, meeting someone and really getting counseling and support. Yeah, but at the same time, if your case requires, the involvement of South African police or law enforcement, then they are able to support and channel you into opening a case, getting your court orders and the like. Yes, but yeah, for now I would say 0800 428 428 can really open doors for you if we are to end it from this side. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Buti. Patience, do you have anything to add, or you okay?
Okay, I would just want to emphasize on what Buti was saying, to say if those cases are emergency cases, you need to call the number 0800, because the social workers are there every day, and they are able to link you with the police. They are able to link you with the ambulance if ever you need an ambulance. So it's a quick response from this number, the 0800 428 428. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Patience. Any other question or comment before I go table to table? table. Oh, okay.
Thank you, Tate, for the presentation. It was nice, and I believe we've learned a lot. I didn't know about an Orange Day. It's my first time, and I believe it's very helpful. And thanks for the teas. That's very nice of you. I've learned that it was established in 2008 by the National Unit. That's what I've picked up today. And then that on the 25th of every month we should be wearing orange. And I've also, the other thing that I've learned is about the other projects that the social development are doing, which I was not aware of. The one which are helping maims, the dialogues, the GBV awareness, and the Asikulume. Yeah, so I really learned a lot from the presentation and what Umama added.
See, it's very nice to listen to a person giving a comment, also looking to her notes. It shows she was indeed listening. And some of these things, remember one thing that is very important. There's no one who's above the law. Whether it's a commissioner or no one is above the law. So if you're going to get assistance somewhere, they don't help you, you jump them, you go to the national office, and please take record certain things like names of people, names of the area, time, all those things, so that when you report your case, it must have a weight. Don't just report a person and say, that social work. What's the name of the social worker? Don't know. What time was it? I can't remember. Where was it at this? You see, you need to start recording things. Even when you go to the police station and they are not helping you, you report them, you jump them. No one is above the law. Any other question or comments? Buti, did you hear what the lady said?
Yes, I did.
Oh, thank you. Let me now start going table by table, or maybe let me do it this way. Each table, choose one person to comment on your behalf. Except the tables that have already spoken. So you are safe. You are safe. So, have you chosen your person? Let me hear. Otherwise, I will choose myself. Who's speaking here? Okay, thank you. Can we listen, please? I need a comment. What have you learned? What did you hear? What do you understand? Is there anything? Can we all listen, please? So, patients, can I propose this table, no t-shirts? Oh, you want to talk on their behalf? Okay, can I come here?
Good morning. Nne ke sa tsebe ka mokgatlo wa dikete orange, and then ke kopa go botsa hape question ya hore that how abuser ne o ka ya kae ne, but financially ke rata hobane ke fumane thuso le di-number phone hore na ho etsahala eng. Thank you.
Thank you.
Nna ke rata hore re leboha haholo ho DSD. DSD has been helping a lot. Ha o ya o le motho wa mme mono ba tla o thusa ka lerato, ba be ba bone hore o thola mosebetsi jwang, o ske wa tshwarella mo abusing early. And I've learned a lot. I've been attending the awareness, the Orange Day tsa bona, e uplift the spirit sa motho, and there's a shelters out there. Mo re kgonang hore ha o le motho wa mme o ska ba re bana ba ka ha ba no kena sekolo, ha ke ya sheltering ho tlo etsahalang. They organize transport for you. Ngwana ha o le sheltering o iswa sekolong, you've got something o itholang mono, di-skills tso di tholang hore o tla kgona hore ha o tswela ka ntle o lo zama bophelo bo kgona ho ikemela. So ha re tlameha re le batho ba bomme re emele GBV ke re ha ke kgone, and le mo reng ha ka kena sekolo ke tlo hloleha. Ha o fihla mo those social workers, they help you. ba tla o uplift hore e ya sekolong, e ya night school if you don't have your matric, ha o na le skill sa o roka sa o etsang, they help you. Nna ke a leboha haholo, ke a tseba thuso ya DSD le sethabelo se ntate a buang ka sone, ke a leboha.
Buti, it means you are doing something correct. You are on the correct line. I just want to say to you guys, it was like the presentation to Buti and what the lady saying. It's linking to all the things that we've been saying since we started on Tuesday. Remember one thing that is important. There are certain things that happen once. They will never repeat themselves. I want to repeat that. There are certain things that happen once. They will never repeat themselves. If you keep on holding on an abusive marriage or relationship, they are beating you. Once they kill you, it's done. So you better wake up before it happens. I haven't heard your voice, Mama.
Dumelang. Nna ke ithutile dintho tse ngata, ke ntse ke mametse ntate a bua le hana ya bua hore ho na le di-program tse ngata tse leng hore ba se ba di kentse tse leng hore di ka thusa haholo batho ba bomme le bana tse di kentse le batho ba bontate hape le hore thuso re ka e fumana ho kae, se re na le tsebo e ngata haholo. Ke a leboha.
Thank you very much, Mme. Ntate, you are next. Oh, you're still busy. Don't say we. You are.
Oh, dumelang. Nna ke ithutile gore jwalo ka o ne o bua maobane for a se bo mme fela ba abuse-wang, le bontate ba abuse. So today ke ithutile gore gender-based violence as o nka sa ilwane o le one o sa batle thuso ka ntle, and then for o depression le thuso e teng, like ha o qeta o kry-a thuso ya go botsa go yona tshwanetse o ye for body counseling for ntho e tlowe at all, and le bosiu a e etsahala o kgona go kry-a thuso ba se ka emela for the next day, tshwanetse o kry-e thuso immediately.
Wa bona batho ba sa batleng bua o tla re bolella ditaba tse di monate yang tse di very very important. Ra leboha mme. Buti, from your side, you are parting words. Buti?
Okay, yeah, no, I'm really happy. In fact, your facilitation has helped a lot in that, well, we could get like feedback, Runa, as the department. Why? Because, I mean, it wasn't questions. Maybe sometimes we had a mistake or the questions instead of like comments. And I think the comments, you know, I could hear that the ladies were linking up, you know, their experiences, you know, their experiences with, you know, what I've just shared. So, and I think this is the best way to learn. You learn from your own experiences instead of, you know, just listening to what is being shared. So, because surely what I was saying, I knew for some could have had gone through those processes. And I could also hear, for, you know, even counseling viewed as something ailing very, very important. Surely, as I was talking about the emotions, that, you know, people should be able to regulate emotions, my kutuabo, it really helps. Because, I mean, it's not that we are just waiting for someone to be beaten and admitted in a shelter or that. If we can prevent, you know, we would like to see the shelters really empty and people being able to like handle their issues, because I think that is and also the mere fact therefore at any time you don't have to say I'll wait until tomorrow. At any time, 24/7, even on Christmas Day, you can call and sort of receive help. So I'm really happy And how I wish I was there, you know, for it's a face-to-face
Yeah,
discussion.
plus we are
But
going to have
I
tea
think this was
without you.
clear level.
We are going to have tea
And
without you.
I hope for the and then I think going out, I mean, you would leave the venue as empowered people. Remember, I said this is not this is also victim empowerment. Once you are empowered, we are sure for the out there, you will be able to stand on your own, take care of yourself, and also be able to take care of your children.
Yeah, thank you very much, Booty. Patience, your closing remarks?
Okay, I will just say the feedback that we are getting is positive feedback, and I'm glad to hear that people have knowledge. I think they have gained knowledge, and also they have that knowledge that they need to prioritize themselves, because it starts with you, not with everyone else, but with you. If you know yourself and you know what is good for you, and you will be able to stand up for yourself. Thank you.
Thank you very much. In closing, before we break for tea, I just want to ask you a very big favor. Please make sure that from here, you who are here, you collaborate amongst yourself with anything. You support each other, you assist each other, you stand for each other, and at the end of the day, you can even form something that will also make sure that at the end of the day, all of you will be sharing what you have learned or what you have gained out of these 4 days. That is very, very important, especially including what Booty has presented, including what Siafunda has presented, also the NEMISA programs. There is a lot of NEMISA programs on the website of NEMISA. You are very lucky, you are already registered. You can always go in and do all those short courses. They are mostly certificated. So those certificates will also assist you. Lastly, before we break for tea, never ever underestimate the power that you have. Never. And if you doubt yourself, you'll always stand where you are. You will never move. If you don't have the ability to do things, start today. Let's break for tea, 15 minutes. In the next 15 to 20 minutes, we should be all seated. And then those who come late, no t-shirt. Thank you. Come on.